The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
To our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. Today is Valentine's Day, and we couldn't do this without making it about love and making it about relationship. So my name is Kara Adams, and today we are graced with the wonderful, magnificent, just handsome, sexy, all that. My husband, Troy Adams, is our co-host today.
She must want something. How we doing? Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. But yeah, my wife, she must want something. So it's all good.
I always want something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But we want to welcome you. We want to thank you. If you have never listened to our podcast before, Hidden Treasure Moments is really taking everyday people who have, they're your neighbor, they're your friend, they're your business owner, and really having them tell their story. It's like everyday people, we all go through so much, and that, I just really find motivation. I find strength out of hearing what everyone's doing in their everyday lives, because we just all have really interesting, just really motivating lives. And so that's what our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast is about. Today's show, we wanted to talk about and be really transparent with relationships, with love, with marriage, and really everything it takes to have a successful relationship. And I'll be the first to say that, like, when we first got married, like, I didn't know how to be married. And I remember us we went through 12 weeks of,
premarital counseling.
Yes, yeah. Premarital counseling with the church. And I remember the facilitator saying, marriage is not easy. It's like, if you compare it to a sport, it's like the NFL, or it's like
the big leagues. It's
like
going from college to the pros.
Yeah.
You just can't, you don't know till you get involved.
Yeah. So for those of you who are watching, who are thinking about getting married, we're going to tell you, really think about it. No. I know today is about love, but let's be honest. Sometimes you might love the one you with, but you got to really think, like, 20 years from now, am I going to want to kill him in his sleep, or am I going to still love him? So, what? Nothing to you, baby, because I've only wanted to kill you in your sleep once or twice.
Damn.
I'll just be real. But I'd never do it.
Yeah, okay. If you read the book Hidden Treasure, you know dang well that she wanted to kill me, not just in my sleep, but kill me often. But what's, again, that's kind of crazy, because that's why, my sister, loved her to death. She was the one that told me, the only person you'd probably ever want to kill is your spouse.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because that's the one that, that you love. That's the one that when you were dating, everything was great. And, you put forth your best effort. You put your, smell good on. You put your nice clothes on. And then all of a sudden you get them and things change. My wife bamboozled me. She bamboozled me. So fellas, I love the dating was awesome. And I would say I wouldn't want to go back, because I don't want to go home to that empty house. But at the end of the day, they bamboozle you.
So, okay. So, for everyone out there, and for women and for men, Is it just me, or like I was talking to Troy and we were thinking about, okay, what are we going to talk about it to keep it interesting? And he always says like, you bamboozled me. You started one way and then 12 years later, you're different. Or the things that you said that you liked when we were dating, you actually hate, which, you know, I wonder if more couples are like that or if it's just, you know.
I mean, but we all try to be different, you know. I mean,
because you cooked a lot.
I still cook. I just don't cook a lot. You know, but at the end of the day, we all have to be different. We were trying to be different. You know, I mean, I love salsa dancing and I still love it, but I have to grind and work. Right. You know, but we did different things. You know, how I got you. She don't ever tell the story, but how I really got my wife is one of our first dates. We went salsa dancing, everything was else good. And you know how you kind of move in and get that kiss. Instead of kissing her, I licked her. And once she seen that I licked her and put that tongue on her, boom, it was over. She knew automatically. No dude had the tongue like I had the tongue. So it was over.
Oh my God. If you're listening to this, do not lick your girlfriend.
Nah, it was good.
He's like, you know, can I have a kiss? And, you know, I was being coy and I'm like, no. And he was like, okay. And he licked my cheek. And I was like, what the hell?
Who licks cheeks? I do. Boom, it was over. You was the only girl I ever licked like that, and it was over ever since then. And crazy enough, my son, to this date, licks his mom.
Yes, it's awful.
It's a good gene. So fellas, don't steal my move. Don't steal my move. But I'm just telling you, that was it. It was over after that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But that wasn't no bamboozle.
No.
My tongue is still good.
Oh my God. Yes,
I'm
it
just
is.
saying.
But anyway.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Your bamboozle was bamboozle.
So like, okay. So I remember like when we first started dating, like, okay, so anyone who doesn't really know our story, we've been married going on 12 years in May, dating for like 11 or 13.
Yeah, you have to
went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Dating for like 13 and a half, 14, you know, all together. And I forget what the heck I was going to say about that. Oh yeah. And so like when, you know, that was a long time ago. I'm a different person than I was then. But like, you know, I remember like all you women, like I would put on like a super sexy negligee or whatever. And I'd put a coat on and then I would show up to the door and I like drop the coat. Like, you know, I did it.
Yeah,
I was doing it.
You did. That's the thing. You did.
See,
your girlfriend,
I had a 6-pack.
No. Time out. Forget all the 6-pack. I don't care if you are 110 or you are 210.
That's not that much. Keep going. A little higher.
310.
Thank
it don't make a difference. Whatever the number is. The number is the number.
Closer to that than you think.
Damn, the number is a number.
Yeah.
But if you did it then, that's what the dude like. And then all of a sudden, you say, I do. And then the lady say, well, I don't no more. Whether it be, okay, let's go camping. I'm like, oh, damn, I got a girl to go camping. I'm an outdoors dude. And then we
tell them about that. Because
it's just, all I'm saying is, I think both sides work really hard at getting the individual.
Yes.
And then we have to do the same amount of work that we did getting the individual at keeping the individual.
Yeah, that's good work.
And that's all. And that's, at the end of the day, relationships are hard work. Marriages are hard work.
Yeah. And
I love being married, but early on, I didn't know how or what it took to, or what it meant to be married.
Yeah. So like, to give you some story behind what he's saying. So like, Troy would always say like, babe, you bamboozled me. Like, you'd come in these sexy outfits. You'd be like a vixen. And then, you know, I wouldn't say it happened all at once. I'd say like, okay, we got married. And then in my mind, I was supposed to be a different person. Like, other men weren't supposed to look at me. Other men weren't supposed to flirt with me. Like, I didn't know how to transition. And then you put that on top of, you know, we had a child. And now, like, my body doesn't feel the same. Like, you know, we were having sex one day and our son, like, comes in the room. And
he didn't come in like that.
He totally came in. I mean, it was like 2:00 in the morning and like he had sleep in his eyes and he wasn't paying any attention.
Exactly.
But still, like, you know, that all of that is a factor from who I was in being that girlfriend and having the girlfriend mentality to like transitioning into who I thought.
To a mommy.
Yeah. to a mommy and a mom and my mother.
Okay.
Like I transitioned, and like I would say the transition was pretty fast. Like that happened in probably, 2 or 3 years. So like in the beginning I was one way, and then I transitioned to this other and didn't recognize that it was okay for me to still
Be
a freak and to be sexy and to love on my husband and be affectionate. Like all of that stuff,
You're still learning.
I'm still working on.
All right,
yeah, because the affection part does not come natural.
Ooh, it did when you was dating. That's what I don't get.
Well, because when we were dating, the affection was that I had a
You had a
lust.
list.
Like, that's a list. We're not at the list.
Okay.
That I had a lust. I had a lust, and like that is how I was connecting and like getting to know you and falling in love. Like sex was a big part of all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so like now that we've transitioned from like the lust to the like true love and companionship part.
Yeah.
Like that's how I was connecting the dots. Like sex meant we loved each other and we were together and we were happy. And so now I've transitioned into the companionship, the making sure that I put your needs as a priority, the showing you love through, how I raise our son and how I take care of the family and, following my own heart and passions. Like that's transitioned. And so that lust love isn't there as much. And I didn't recognize probably until like literally just right now.
Like today, like right this second.
Literally,
okay.
Literally right this second.
What time is it?
I'm making a very like
I love it.
Aha.
10:40. All right.
Yes.
10:40 a.m.
Yes.
Valentine's Day 2019.
Can I finish?
Yes, you can. You're
Thank
so
you.
Beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Okay, thank you. But transitioning from that lust love to that like grown up, mature, like we are, it's us against the world love.
Yeah.
Like I lost the fact that I want hugs and I want kisses. And, I have to remind myself that like, that's part of love and growing into it and maturing into it. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
In all seriousness too, it's interesting to see your transition because now you seek it more, but I would try to give that so much more and you'd be like, but now you desire that. And I'm like,
yeah. Like we switched.
Like, kick rocks now. Like,
you'd much rather play Candy Crush
sometimes
than to be kissing on this Candy Crush.
Well,
that was good.
Yeah. That Candy Crush has gotten said now is like a sour tart.
What?
I'm just kidding. But I mean, again, it's like all seriousness, right? So it's one of those things that ladies and men both have to realize that it goes back and forth throughout the relationships, right? And it's both understanding each other, being able to have real conversations, just like we have on the radio show. Yeah. When I get a chance to come in, because you can't allow me to come too many times.
No, you take over.
Yeah, but it's that give and take. It really is. And so I'd be interested too, if some of the callers or people watching to call in and what is that aha moment for them and their relationship, or especially on Valentine's Day, or were they bamboozled, male and female? Because I think in relationships, you think one thing, then you get in and you're like, what the heck?
Yes.
And I'm not going to say it was right as we said I do, but you women have a list, and I think we've talked about it before. Women have a list, and sometimes the list comes in front of the relationship, and they don't know it. Yeah. It's just like the men, we don't know it, but I think it does. Yeah. So I'd love to hear from callers.
Yeah, and I will say that, one thing that I know that, looking back, 10 years, into the past or into the future, it was that, I did things that I thought you liked, that I wanted to please you. And so I did things that I knew you liked doing or that you would do so that, we were doing things together. Yeah. And one of those things was camping. And it's so funny. I hate camping. I'm not a camp person. I don't like being outdoors, like not at all. And so I would schedule or for his birthday, I set up like this big camping trip. And I don't know, I think we were married. I think we were married.
Yeah, we were early.
Yeah. In the first couple of years. I don't even know if we had truly yet. But, I set it up because I knew it was something that he liked. And, I invited all his family and his friends, and it was a nice time. But like on the inside, like there was a big old spider in the tent and like the dirt on the floor and having to go to the restroom and take a shower. Like, ugh, like none of that. That's just not me. I don't like it. But it's funny.
That's real camping.
But what's funny is it came out we were going through marital counseling, like this group marital counseling class. And they asked us to write down the things that you enjoy doing, the things that you do with your partner that either one, bring you joy, or like it was like a weird, like let's say 0, you had you didn't care one way or another. -1 meant you hated it and it took away from your love for your partner. And 5, or I think whatever, was that you enjoyed it and it brought you closer to your partner. So when we were going through and we were talking to each other about our list and our respective numbers.
That thing got me in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about that another time.
Yeah, we won't even go on that one.
Yeah.
But, on the list, I wrote, maybe it was like 3 to -3, but I wrote on mine that camping was a -3. And Troy was shocked. He had no idea that not only did I not like camping, but it took love away from him when we did it because I hated it so much. So it's funny that you say that and, that's one of the things we bring up.
So we have a call.
Yeah. Yes, we have a call. You know how much I like calls.
You guys are great this morning. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you. Who are we speaking with?
My name is Lisa, and I'm calling from Leimert Park.
Oh.
Yeah. I had a question, though, about when you two discovered that you were no longer dating each other's representatives. I asked that because I fell in love with a man, and, it was instantaneous and beautiful, and then I got pregnant, and then he turned into somebody else. And it made me think that obviously I didn't know him long enough or well enough, but it also made me think about how when we meet somebody, we sort of show up as our representative sometimes and not who we really are. So my question for you two is, how long did it take for each of you to sort of shed your representative? And or when did you realize that you were really with the genuine Kara, the genuine Troy, and not just who they were showing up to be?
That's a great question.
12 years.
No.
I'm still, for me, I think that's a good question. And it's unfortunate that we change, things in life happen. You had a baby. We had, my wife and I had truly loved my son. But that was probably one of the hardest things that I had to deal with because, I had my best friend at that time. And then she had our son, which it was really hard for us to have him. And then everything changed. I went to the back burner. And I can tell you, unfortunately, I seeked a relationship outside of our marriage. But it changed everything. But all the way up until last night, at the end of the day, we are still continually talking, having real conversation about what our desires are and who we are evolving to every day. So for me, it literally is 12 years. And just like she said, it was, 10 minutes ago when she had that aha moment, but we continue to talk about it.
Yeah. And I would say that I didn't really start to show who I truly was until about 5 years into our marriage. And that's a really long time to hide who you are. And I don't necessarily think that I was hiding who I was because, I wanted him to see the best of me. I think it had more to do with me and that I didn't know who I was. I wasn't particularly happy with who I was. And I thought that I needed to live in this background and in this shadow in order to be truly loved by somebody. So him not seeing me was because I wasn't showing who I was. And I think that in relationships, that happens a lot. And I feel like in the beginning, I saw who Troy wanted and was aspiring to be. And then as he started to, lower his shield, and as it looked like we were kind of pulling apart, I feel like I didn't really start to see him until I saw him, until we went through, trying to have a child and really seeing like his wants and his the things that was pushing him away from me, because I was so tunnel visioned. And then it almost got to the point where he just didn't care anymore. And he was like, I'll just do what you want me to do because I want to still be married. Like, I love you, but things aren't as good as I want them to be. So it's a really long way to say, like, I think people put up these barriers that sometimes have nothing to do with the other person.
Yeah.
It's completely about who they are and how comfortable they are. And then I had to be open to see who he truly was and who, not just who I wanted him to be. So I hope that helps you answer your question, Lisa, a little bit.
Oh, it does. It really does. Thank you. I love the fact. I love the way you guys communicate. I think friendship is key to any relationship, and you two seem to be friends, and that's really cool.
Sometimes.
I don't know if you caught
I don't know if you caught the early. She did say she was trying to kill me, or she wanted to kill me every so often. So just everybody's listening. If I end up dead,
but here's the thing:
huh?
if she was only trying to kill you in your sleep, you're ahead of the game. If she wasn't trying to kill you when you were alive, that's good news.
All right.
Thank you, Lisa.
Touche.
Thank
Lisa.
you.
You guys have a great day.
All right, you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay, bye-bye. But I mean, I think it's really good word.
Yeah.
And, I think with that, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, I think it would be good to talk about like the list, what you alluded to, and how as men and women, like we have this long grocery list of things that we want our spouses to be, the provider, all of that stuff. But we're looking for them in completely all the wrong places. Yeah. Like if you want a God-fearing man, you might find him at the club, but you might not. So when we come back, that's what we'll be talking about. See you in a minute. Oh, yeah.
Let's go ahead and thank
Welcome
him.
back. Husband always trying to tell me what to do, not paying no attention. But welcome back to our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. Again, this is where we give everyday people a voice. We all have a message inside us. And if you haven't already, if you visited us for the first time, please subscribe to our channel. Please like our Facebook page, which is Love Hidden Treasure, or you can go to Instagram at HDN Treasure and find us there. But when we left off, we were talking about a list. You had kind of spoken to it a little bit. And I know like my girlfriends, they talk about a list. And that's like, the 20, 30 things that we add that we want our potential spouse, what we want them to possess, in order for us to date or take the relationship to the next level.
I'm not going to talk about your girlfriend's list. They want to kill me in your kill me in my sleep
Don't
too.
talk about my girlfriend.
Yeah, I think I jacked that up last time I was on the show. So
yes, you did.
Yeah, but But that being said,
Yeah.
you know, it's the list, man, it's crazy. I think all dudes know that the girls have a list, ladies have a list from the time they're, 5, 6 years old all the way up to. And I think that list that list grows as women get married or want to get married in their 30s or 40s, So
Yes.
that's kind of the tough as they get older. I think it's a little harder on the male aspect because of you guys want to get married, then you want to have your baby, and it's just hitting the check marks really, really quick.
Well, did you have a list? Were there things that, like, when we were dating that you were looking for that said, okay, she's got this, she's got that, she's got that. Okay, maybe this is somebody that I want to.
Yeah, I think dudes have a list too, right?
Okay, so
Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
wait, my list is totally different.
Okay,
so
let me hear it.
A dude's list is first, whether we see you at the club or the church. Both is like the club as far as I'm concerned. So don't get me started on that. But if, first is a girl cute. Man, okay, boom, check. Carol's fine. All right, then the next one is, for me, it was dance. Or did you like to dance? Did you like to do the things that I like to do? Because I'm an outdoor person, but also in a racing game. So can she handle the unique style of living that I had? Okay, boom, that was a check. Not really, but yes, that was a check. Does she have a good family? You had a good family. Okay, check. Right? Do my boys like you? It was kind of cool. And hopefully he's going to come in next week. But my boy Pat was like, dude, that's your girl. When my boys co-sign, or when our boys co-sign that that's the one, you may want to take a real good look at that one.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was a check. Is she good in bed? For those who are celibate, you could. Yeah. That's cool too.
Or waiting until they get married.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, did she check that off? Boom. She was kind of, like you said, long black trench coat with a lavender style negligee to the door. Come in, boom. I'm like, oh my God, I done found it.
His friend in another apartment, like he lived in condos, and his friend in another condo.
Von Webb. I know. I can tell you today. That's my homie.
Oh
Von was
God.
like, dude, your girl is coming across the parking lot in a trench coat and a negligee. I saw her. I'm like, what? He's like, man, get ready. You got to get ready. I was like, okay, this is getting ready to be on.
So funny.
Yeah, that didn't happen but one other time in LA when I was flying in and you met me at the hotel I know exactly. It's only been two times. Two times in 12 years. Again, check. That was good. And then we said, I do. And it was like, whoop, one line through the checklist. And then I'll stop.
Okay. So my checklist. Yeah, my checklist, it was, I had a few relationships because we got married. I think I was 33.
You told me only like 2 relationships. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. Anyways, I was a little older than that. Anyways. But, I had a couple of serious relationships. And I think, each one I was picking and I was choosing like a better guy and a better guy. And so, I think that like when I was looking at my list and I was putting it together, what I didn't realize at the time is like, you can't just go from relationship to relationship. There has to be a point where you heal whatever happened or you mourn whatever happened in your previous relationship. And so right before we started dating, I had decided I'd gone to church and they had this singles ministry and they had this like weekend workshop and all of this stuff. But it was really good because it helped me to see that like, no, I wasn't healing. I was just kind of going through relationship to relationship, but I wasn't taking stock on, the things I liked with the person, the things I didn't like, because ultimately the person who I needed to end with was the person I needed to be with forever. So my list was like, he has to be a Christian. He has to be hardworking. He has to treat me, like a partner. He has to be my best friend and he has to be funny. Like that was my major list. I didn't have a ton of things on there. It was good that, me and Misha, hey girl, we looked you up on the internet to see like, oh, okay, he said he's a race car driver. Let's see. Because girls, men lie. Check when they're not looking. Look at their driver's license. Make sure that the age they say they are. Like, make sure. Just fact check.
Damn wrong.
Just fact check. That's what I'm saying. Just fact check.
Okay.
Because it's an investment. Like when you Yes, it is. When you really think about it, you're investing in your future. You're investing in your children and the makeup that they're going to get from your potential spouse. Like, it's a big deal. Like, these videos, okay, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a second. But these videos make it look like, ooh, I'm going to do you and I'm going to do you and I'm going to throw some money on it and I'm going to lick it all up and like, yeah. But like, that is not reality. It's not real. You can't stay married. You can't choose your partner based on Atlanta Housewives. You can't choose it based on Basketball Wives. Like, that's not real. You got to get to know the person. You got to get to know how they treat their mama, how they treat their family. If they respect women, like that, it's important to have a friendship. And our friendship is what kept our marriage going. And the fact that we had a child, like we say all the time, if we wouldn't have had Truly, like it's, God does that on purpose. He gives you something to fight for. And when you think like, it's not worth it anymore, this is just too hard, we're not working together. Like when we do that, and then all of a sudden you have this little baby who's like, why is daddy sleeping over there? It like makes you work harder. And so, I just totally got off on a tangent, but
The list.
Yeah, thank you. But when you put your list together, like don't do the list on what they can buy you. You do the list on how they can lift your heart and how they can help you to get to your next level and to get to your goals. Because I truly believe together we're stronger.
Yeah.
Like we're a stronger unit because we're together, but we're together because we're friends.
I agree. And I think, though, it goes both ways. Create your list, and once you're in the relationship, at the end of the day, how can you help your partner? How can you lift up your partner? How can you help them grow? It's not all about you. And that's, I think, where we are today. When we first started, it was really not about either person, whether it was you asking me for money. I'm like, you got your own money. You had your money before we got married.
Yeah.
You better have your money now.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like
you would never,
you would never have to go to work. I got it.
Right. Because when we first got married, I'm like, babe, once we have a kid, like I'd really like to stay home for a year or so.
Black folks don't do that.
And that's exactly what you said. You were like, black people don't do that. You're going to have to work.
You got to work.
And I was like,
that's what I was raised on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was raised on, that we both work. Yes, the man is supposed to take care of the household, but if we want certain things, then we both need to work and contribute to the household. Mm-hmm. Again, growth. And then at the end of the day, you transitioning to really lifting it up and believing in my business, believing that we could make it, instead of saying every time I'm trying to grow, you're like, no, you need to go get a job. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm like, I have a job.
Yeah.
But that you having my back and supporting me on that was like, I need to take a step back and like, okay, what is best for the family? What is best for our relationship? And you weren't happy in your current position. So I'm like, and I would always tell you, like, leave them. Yeah. They're not that important.
Right.
And you're like, oh, no, you were so worried about your list being CEO or CFO or whatever it is. You didn't see that was actually killing you, not just you, but our relationship.
Yeah. And I think that is really, really good word in that, I let my job, I let my career, I let my title really dictate, my level of importance.
Yeah.
And if I was contributing to the household. And when I got sick with cancer, like that shook that belief system to my core. Right. And one of the things that my oncologist would say is, Kara, they don't care about you. Kara, they will replace you they're going to be thinking about how they can replace you as you're telling them that you have cancer. Like, that's how deep that is. And so she was like, spend less time worrying about invoices and more time on taking care of yourself so that you'll be here for your husband and your son. Because they're the ones that are going to miss you. Your job, they're going to replace you. And that was really good.
How often I tell you that way before her, though?
Yeah, I mean, you're so smart. Like,
okay. I got to get that on camera, too, at
you really
11:05.
You really are.
I tell you, it's crazy. And again, it goes back to relationship. I will tell you stuff over and over and over again.
Yes.
But maybe it's just our relationship. Maybe it's the male. I don't know what it is.
I know what it is. I'm going to tell you when you're done.
Well, hell no. Tell me now.
Well, for me, what that is I'm a researcher. Like when you really know, and you know how I am.
You are a researcher.
Like,
but that means you research, all you do is just, okay, damn, that makes sense. You don't have to call this person, and then Patty, and then come back and say,
you are right.
You are right. Well, that was 5 years later.
No, it's not that long.
This time.
It's not that long. We're much faster at this point.
I said this time.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, now we're much faster. Back then, I might not have ever got there.
Ooh.
But I would say that whether you're a man or a woman,
yes.
You alluded to, like, once we have each other's back,
yeah,
and once, like, I stopped trying to turn you into corporate Troy, who I, like, in my head, that was success. Like, having a steady paycheck, knowing where everything was coming from, like, that's what meant success to me.
Yeah.
I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I came from a family of, my father had a pension, worked with the California prison system. My mother was a nurse, worked for the same place for years. They didn't change jobs. I didn't see that. And so it took me years to get comfortable with the life of being an entrepreneur and having your own business. And then being able to appreciate that, when you're a business owner, you're a community builder. Like, you built the community in Rubidoux. You gave jobs and employed people and helped change their life. And, like, we don't do that the same way in a corporate environment. And so me transitioning from, corporate Kara to entrepreneurial Kara, like, I'm the happiest and most fulfilled that I've ever been. Like, I know that I'm in my sweet spot. And, like, when it comes to your relationship and it comes to you being able to support your partner, it's like, if they're in their purpose, then you have to figure out how to support it, but you have to communicate. You can't just be in your purpose by yourself and not bring your partner along. And I think through the years, we've kind of figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you would say all the time, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I didn't understand.
I hate that.
I did not understand that concept because, like, no, you're dead when you're dead.
Yeah.
That's what that is. But, like,
yeah, but money don't sleep.
Money don't sleep. And, like,
you didn't understand that concept either.
No. I understood you making it rain.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
That.
Yeah, you sure did.
But really, it's, for me, it's being able to understand that when you're in your purpose, like, it doesn't feel like work so much. Like, even though I'm working, even though I work so much more now than I did at my present job, it's like, we'll be in the bed, I'll be working, it'll be, I'll be in the afternoon, I'll get up at 7:00 in the morning and I'm thinking and I'm working because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
5:30 in the morning and 7:00, you 5:00 in the morning, you start working.
Yeah.
It's that grind. But again, it goes back. We had to go through all these different crazy things, right? With the relationship, you getting cancer, to you writing a book on me. No, I'm just kidding. It ain't about me. But when you get the book, when you KaraAdams.com, when you buy that book, all I'm asking, friends, ladies, especially the ladies, please read past chapter 6, then I become a good guy. Then you really get the fact that it took all of that to get us to our purpose, to your purpose, and to see where and how we build our relationship.
Yeah. And it's funny because, as I've been speaking to people, as I've been speaking on a stage kind of about being, living in my purpose and being kind of a messenger of this, not just woman's empowerment, but empowering yourself to live your purpose and not letting fear get in your way. I recognize that even though, I'm a woman who wrote this book with women in mind, that it is touching the lives of men.
I know it says jacked up my men's group. I'm a men's group. That's what's crazy, like relationships, right? So my wife, somehow, she always infiltrates right back into my life, right? So what do we have? We told me, okay, take Tuesdays off. Yeah, you told me to take Tuesdays off so I could go to a acupuncturist so that we can try to get my little swimmers up so we can have a kid. It wasn't the fact that you were wanting me to have a day off. You had an alternative. I know you're not. Me either. Alternative motive, right? I have a men's group on Monday. Hey, you should go to the men's group. A lot of brothers that hang out and we talk, just have a good relationship.
Yeah.
I gave the book to the brothers, and now all of a sudden they all reading it, and we having relational discussions about this. So it's crazy how, again, the book, was written for women, but I'm seeing that a lot of men have been touched and moved by this book, as well as now they're sharing it with their spouses and their coworkers. So men, if you haven't read the book Hidden Treasure, trust me, it is a game changer. And I would definitely go and purchase that, or go to the gym retreat, which is in May.
Yes, we have a gym retreat. Like, my goal was really not to just be a messenger, not to just talk about it, but to create events and to create situations where we could really figure out how do you love yourself and not feel bad for it? How do you share and become who you're supposed to be if you don't have the time, if you're always picking up the kids, if you're always cooking dinner, if you're always working, 50, 60 hours a week, how do you slow down enough to figure out who you're supposed to be and where your purpose is? And that's really what the VIP one-day retreat is about. It's about slowing down. It's about, we're going to do a mini workshop with this exact thing in mind. And so, I don't want to just put it out there. I also want to make it so that people can go, we're going to give some of them away for free. And, how you do that is if you text GEM, capital GEM 19 to 22828. If you text GEM, all caps, GEM 19 to 22828, we will give one of these amazing packages away. It's going to be in Riverside at the Mission Inn. It's beautiful. And it's all about, a day of indulgence and self-love, but it's a $700 investment that we're giving away because I truly, truly believe that when we can figure out how to love ourselves as women, as men, as whatever, then we love each other better. And so that's really what it's all about. It's what the book is about. It's what I'm about. It's, why I'm in my purpose and why I'm just loving life so much. So, and I'm awful about talking about it. So that's why. Thank you, baby. Thank you. But okay. So we're going to take a quick break, super, super quick. But when we come back, I want you to think about, as a man talking to women, what things could somebody who's either in a relationship or, thinking about getting into one, like, how do they prepare themselves to be ready, as a woman? And I'm going to say from a man's point of view, from a woman talking to a man, how they can be.
How can a woman get ready?
Yeah.
For a relationship?
Yeah. Like, what is it that connects men and women together?
Yeah.
Like, when we got together, like, that's what I'm going to talk about. What connected me to you?
You have like 3 or 4 girlfriends. I'm just going to doctor it up.
Talk to them.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking to you guys. I am not. Get me in trouble. I am not talking to Kara's girlfriends at all. This is no discussion on them. I'm just thinking of them in the thing. This is not about them. Let's get that clear.
So when we come back, as a woman talking to a man, I'm going to say that. And as a man talking to a woman. Okay, good. So we will be right back. Okay, we are back. Welcome again to Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. I am Kara Adams. My husband is my co-host today, Troy Adams. And we are kind of talking about love, talking about relationships. And when we left on the break, we were talking about, okay, what advice can you give to women who, you know, are on that kind of in that journey of finding a lifelong partner?
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, at the end of the day, I believe that we all want a partner. We all want someone to love and want to be loved. And I think the one thing I would say is that almost forget the list, you know, but put yourself in a position. I always would say, put yourself in a position to get a good partner, right? I don't think that you can find the partner at the club. You might be able to, and you know, by all means you can. But if you're into the club scene, then maybe that's going to be cool because they're going to always want to be at the club, right? If you're into business, then you may want to find someone in that business arena. If you're into church, again, maybe you want to find them. Church to me sometimes is off and on because you have some of the people at the club going to the church to find their mate. So that's just, unfortunately, that's just real talk. But at the end of the day, forget the list.
Okay.
Like, work on yourself. And I think when you're ready, God will send you that mate, will send you that person. And then look at the pluses and the minuses because they are real. Like the things that you don't like are magnified by 100%. The things that you do like don't magnify as much.
Yeah.
So, and they may not even be real.
You kind of forget.
Yeah, and they might not be real, right? They could be giving you, like the caller said, at least like that may be the person that they think you want. So, no, just get yourself ready, humble yourself, you know, and just be ready. Yeah. Right? And then be ready to work at the end of the day. Be ready to work at your relationship. Till death do you part means till death do you part.
Yes.
That's for me, that was the biggest thing.
Yeah. And I would say that, you know, it's funny as I've had male friends who've gotten married or, you know, who are dating, you know, I always tell them that who she says she is, typically she is. So if she's like, you know, I like brand names. I like the newest model of the car. What you want, you know, what you got, I want. You know, if she's like that when you're dating, she's going to be like that when you're married.
And then some.
And then some. So if, you know, she, you know, a good telltale sign is if she's got all designer bags, if she's got Louis Vuitton, if she's got Prada, if she's got all these bags, but she didn't pay for any of them.
Run like hell.
Run. Because that's going to tell you a lot about her. If she's living above her means, run. If she don't know what a credit report is, run. Like I'm
you gonna get some hate mail.
Yeah.
See, that's why I said, fellas, you got to read the book Hidden Treasure. This is the first time my wife is making it real. I'm telling you, that's some real talk right there. Oh my God.
No, but it helps.
I'm buying you lunch for that.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Oh my God.
Thank you, baby. But really, it helps us all in the long run because, like, you know, a lot of the times we're trying to meet what we think you want. But if we see that really you want us to be our true authentic selves, if you want us to communicate and let you know what we like, what feels good, what, you know, the places we like to go, then create a safe place so that if I say, I like to go salsa dancing, or if she says, I like to go salsa dancing, then go salsa dancing. If the only place you go is the place you like to go, there's a problem there. So just as, you know, if you're looking for trouble, you're going to find it. If you don't do the things both partners want to do, then one's going to feel like their opinion doesn't matter. So I'm not beating up on women because it's the same. I think it's kind of that same concept for men. If he's always puffing up his chest, but you can't see where his money comes from, that's a problem. If he is, you know, oh God, okay, I'm going to go into one because I know he's not watching. But, you know, I go say say his name. But I dated a guy who was multimillionaire, had a ton of money. But every time we would go out, he would make me pay.
God, I hope he's watching. God, I hope he's watching. Go ahead. I'm going to say his name.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
But he would make me pay. And so I'd be like, why do I have to pay? Like, I'm not a money hungry person. I'm not a gold digger, but I do want to be treated like a lady, and I shouldn't have to pay every time we go out. Mm-hmm. He's got money. So like in my head, I was thinking, okay, something ain't quite right. And so, okay, ladies, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I found his bank statement because I wanted to make sure that who he said he was who he was. And yes, he did have that money in the bank. So I was like, okay. But then what I recognized is like, I shouldn't have to do all of that. So I'm telling myself one more time. I've changed since then a lot. I've changed a lot. But then I found that he would keep like a stash of cash. So then I started. I don't know if you know the story. But then I started, like, I would take out $200-$300, and then I would put his wallet or whatever back in his bag, and then, and then I would use that money to pay for when we were going out to dinner or when we were going to lunch. Like, I wouldn't use it to buy stuff for myself.
Women are so crappy.
But I was like, I ain't gonna keep paying. Like, that don't make no sense. And so, but he got game. He got hip to my game, because then he started, like, he would put the remote on top of the bag, or like he would like place it just so he would know if I was like going in it or getting money out of it. But then I like would take a picture of it, so I knew like how he placed it. I'd go in and get the money, and then I would put it back. But I'm just saying, I don't know why I went down that road. But, those were big red flags. It was red flag for him that, he was dating a klepto. And then it was red flags for me that he didn't want to not just share, but just, treat me like a lady, and take me out and pay. He didn't have to do it all the time. Yeah. But like, when you see red flags in the beginning, it means that there's a fire brewing at the end. That
was the dude right before me, too.
Yeah, he was right before you.
He was. He had that tongue. I'm sorry. See, I'm just saying.
So crass.
I am crazy. But it goes back. He did not do what hit your heart.
No.
At the end of the day, it's not about how much money sometimes we have.
No.
Together, we've done way better than what we could have done apart when we're on the same page. But a lot of times, we look at the list of what you want, or the female wants, and what the male wants, and we don't ever focus together. That's why, to me, people get divorced. That's why we separate. Mm-hmm. And once again, I kind of knew where your heart is. I still know where your heart and what you like, what you don't like. The real question is, do I want to do those things in order to make you happy? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, as we've grown here over the last couple of years, especially, we do things that help and want our spouse to be happy.
Yeah.
So to me, that's where the list is taking the list once you get together with that significant other and saying, okay, what makes my wife happy? What makes my husband happy? And focus on doing those things, even though there may become a time when it's 70-30 when they may not be doing the same thing for you.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what we have to do.
And it's funny that we're talking about this all on Valentine's Day, because like, if if your husband or your wife didn't do anything for you for Valentine's Day, but say like Happy Valentine's Day, like, how does that make you feel? Mm-hmm. And have they been putting enough, gas in your tank, enough love in your heart to where it, one day shouldn't make that big of a difference? Yeah. Like, for me, Troy is good about the everyday love, not quite so good at like the Valentine's, like birthday day kind of love. Like, he's not like a one big event. And I'm fine with that. I know you and I'm good with it, but I know he does like that. He does like, getting gifts and seeing that I'm thinking about him. And like, if he needs something and just says it and I happen to get it, like, that's how we show each other love and that we're thinking about each other every single day. And so like this morning, I'm going to toot my own horn. Like I got my son flowers. I got my husband flowers. I got them chocolate. I got my husband jeans. And it's because I'm not always so good about the everyday stuff.
Right.
And so, you know, this is my opportunity to remind you and to remind myself how much I love you.
I appreciate that. Sure.
And I want our son, thank you, baby. But I want our son to see that it's okay to give, but it feels good too to receive.
Right.
And that for him to see it's okay for a woman to give, you know, daddy and to give, I call him Papa, to give Papa, you know, to give him things, you know, pieces of love or things to remind us. And I don't think that we do that enough for our spouses and for our mates. And we have this huge level of expectation. But, you know, just me being able to live in my purpose is what, what are you doing?
She always worried about what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I'm going to cut you off because that's what I do best. Look, Hidden Treasure. First off, I want to thank the dude before me. I really want to say your name so bad.
Don't.
You have no idea. I have no idea. But, dude, thank you because truly you gave up your hidden treasure. But behind, to me, it's like the same deal. No, it is. You know, the best jewelry is not in the case.
Yeah.
It's back there in the bag. And he just didn't get it. He was looking on the surface. And thank you for blessing me with my own hidden treasure. Because you lost it. And that's, for me, has been through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin, you have been my ride or die.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin, no matter what, whether you were telling me go get a job or everything else, when you knew I was at my lowest, you made sure you're there to pick me up. And to me, that's what it's all about in regards to relationships. So, yes, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah. Mwah. Happy Valentine's Day to my wife, to you out there. And we look forward to, I look forward to doing this again.
Yes, and we want to say, you know, thank you to all of our viewers, to anybody who's listening, to everyone who has supported us. We really want to say thank you to our sponsor. We have an amazing new sponsor, which is Creative Solutions Marketing and Printing. Without you, it would be hard to make this happen. Remember, we're having a one-day VIP retreat. Everything about us you can get on our website, which is I was going to say my old employer, www.karaadams.com. And then finally, I also want to thank Felicia, the poetess, and Morris Media Studios for helping to really make a dream that I didn't even know was a dream to come true. And don't forget to go out and to buy Hidden Treasure. Please support me. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on my website. You know, it's super easy to find, and we appreciate you and we appreciate the support. Remember, you can find us every Thursday at 10:30 in the morning from 10:30 to 11:30. So until next time, love each other, be good to each other, and look for your hidden treasures. Until next time.